Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. So today we're going to be stepping away from woodworking and doing a little bit of leatherworking. Purely because I can do it all on my workbench. I don't need to turn on any machinery really. It's going to be a nice simple process because right now I cannot really move around the shop. I've got the king size bed set up. If you guys didn't see yesterday's video, that bed is all finished, oiled, and it's just sitting here drying for a couple days. So I want to try and limit the amount of dust that I make in the shop. And mostly I just cannot carry giant pieces of wood around the shop with a king size bed set up in it. So what I want to attempt to do today is replace my storage for my chisels, because right now I store all of my chisels in this little plastic cup that they came in out of the box. So they just sit in there nicely. And you can see that they work pretty good. They all sit in the drawer kind of nicely like this. And I may keep using this, but I want to make a little leather case that I can have these stored downwards in. And I want to make sure it has a handle, something so I can actually carry it over the bench. And we're going to be adding a handle on the inside of it so I can leave it open and hang it on, say, the workbench or, just on the wall or something, just so that I can maybe have a little bit easier access to my chisels. Because it seems like a bit of a shame to have a $100 chisel just stored in a little plastic box. So you can see on the inside of the plastic here, I have what size it is written on there and then the bevel angle, because there are a couple different bevel angles. In these Veritas chisels, anything below a 1/2 inch has a 30-degree bevel on it, because that's supposed to be a little bit of a tougher bevel. Then when you go 1/2 inch or bigger, they have a 25-degree bevel, because for some reason. There is a lot of technicality to what bevel you're supposed to use. I just keep them on the same bevel they came from the factory, and I haven't found any issues or any reason to change that bevel, so we're just going to keep sticking with that. But on our little leather case, I'm going to make sure that I stamp in all of those details so I know exactly which chisel goes into which slot, and I know what bevel angle to sharpen it at. So before we can jump into this project, we obviously have to design it. Now, unlike my woodworking projects, when it comes to anything that I do with leather, I generally like to take a more old school approach to the design. Because with leather, I can't exactly go in and figure out all the measurements. I can't 3D model it in SketchUp, whereas you can pretty easily do that with furniture. So when it comes to leatherworking, I like to just crack out the old gridded notebook and just sit down with whatever it is I'm trying to make a case for, or specifically sized around. I like to sit down with that actual item and draw out what I want, because this allows me to, actually figure out what size things need to be, how to figure out spacing, all that kind of stuff. Things that I can't really figure out, trying to make a 3D model in SketchUp. So for the woodworking side, I absolutely hate trying to draw my designs because it never really works out. Whereas with leather, I think there is a lot more ability to just freehand draw what you're looking for, because it's a little bit of a simpler process than a giant piece of furniture. Okay, so kind of a harsh reminder of why I don't try and sketch out or draw what I want to make, because when you get into working with a grid like this, I find it very limiting in what you can do, especially when you start dealing with imperial measurements. You're dealing with 3/16 of an inch, 9/16 of an inch, whatever. It becomes really hard to break down your squares and get something that actually is to scale of what you want to make. So it's just one of those things. I've never been good at converting what I have in my brain into drawings on paper. I can usually do it in SketchUp, but again, with leather, it's really hard to make that conversion. But anyway, I now know what size, most of our generic pieces need to be. We'll figure out a lot of our fine layout details in that when we have our physical pieces in front of us, because that's going to be a lot easier. But anyway, now I know that I need my main body of this case to be 25 inches long by 12 inches wide. Nice even numbers there. That's pretty handy. And then the only other piece that needs to be a fairly specific size is our bottom section that's actually going to hold the blades of the chisels downwards. That has to be 5.5 inches tall by the 12-inch width. So we should be in a pretty good spot here to just start cutting out some leather. And then once we have the actual physical leather laid out on the bench here, we can actually figure out where things need to go and where we actually need to put stitch lines to hold things in place. Because that's going to be the big thing here, is the whole way this is going to work is we basically just have 2 pieces of leather, and then depending on where we stitch it, it'll keep the blade of the chisel nicely held in place. And then the other bit of leather that we're going to need is some of this thicker, heavier duty stuff. Now you'll notice that they're different colors. These are 2 completely different types of leather, as I've come to learn. They're both cowhide, it's nothing like that. But this lighter stuff is an oak veg tan, which when I first started messing around with leatherworking, I thought that just meant a generic type of, undyed leather. But in reality, the oak part means that it's very hard. As a woodworker, I probably should have understood that oak meant harder. But it is a harder temper of leather, because apparently, again, one of those things you learn as you start digging into leatherworking is that there's different tempers. This brown stuff that we have is a softer temper, so it's a little bit more malleable. You can see that I can roll it and move it around a little bit easier, whereas this stuff is a much firmer leather. This is also quite a bit thicker, but overall it is a much firmer leather. So that's a very interesting thing and a very confusing thing when I started playing around with leather, is I bought a whole bunch of this stuff, not really understanding what I actually needed for leather work. So what we're going to be doing with this stuff is creating a spacer or somewhat of a protective surface. Because I saw this in the tutorial about making a knife sheath. If you think of this knife right here, where the blade is a very sharp area. So if you push that into a knife sheath, every single time you push it in there, if you don't have a spacer piece, what's going to happen is that blade is going to ride right on the threads and is eventually going to cut through your sheath, which you really don't want it to do. And so with these chisels, as I mentioned in the past, the edges here are decently sharp, and I'm sure that they'll do the exact same thing. If I'm pulling them in and out of this case here, eventually they're just going to start slicing through all of the threads and all the stitching on here, which is not going to be very good. So by adding in this little bit thicker and tougher leather, I think that'll help prevent the threads from getting torn. Man, this is a big piece of leather. I don't know how I'm going to cut out the square that I need. Where there's a problem, there's always a solution. No, wrong tool. Damn, I was really looking forward to using this thing. Oh well. Maybe we'll get to use it soon, who knows. Now the funniest part about that is it would probably work too. Okay, so I screwed that one up pretty good. I should have stamped that in before I went through and glued on the spacer piece on the back, because that would have been a logical thing to do. I don't know why I didn't think to do that before. But what we're going to do is we're just going to make a new strip. We're going to attach it over top, and we're going to call it an accent strip. That'll have all of this stuff stamped into it, because that'll be a lot easier, because then I can just have that single strip. I can glue it on, add some stitches to it, and it should be just fine. Alright guys, so apparently this is going to be a multi-day project because I've got as much done as I can do today. I'm completely out of time. I got to get this video edited and I got to do a whole other coat of oil on the bed. But it's looking really cool. It is kind of long and floppy, so I don't quite know about it. And I do like how you can kind of roll it back on itself and then you have full access to the chisels. So it's looking really good. I'm still a little bit too afraid to push the chisels in just because I don't want to slice through the backside. So I think once we wet down the front side and it has the ability to stretch, then we'll wrap these chisels up in some nice shrink wrap. And then we can slide them in without worrying that I'm getting soaking wet and rusting. And it'll stretch out the front area rather than letting it cut through the back. Plus with the plastic wrap on there, it'll cover up that cutting edge just a little bit to make sure that I can't easily slice through the back. Because right now these chisels are pretty sharp, and I think that if I try to force them in, they will just cut right through the back side of this. But anyway, it's looking good. I remember now why I don't do a whole lot of leatherworking anymore. It is a very exhausting form of work. I think someday if I really want to get into it, I would get a sewing machine, because sitting here, you know, hammering out the holes and then going through and hand stitching all of it is just exhausting. It makes it's so much work for such a small product. I never doubt why leather goods are so expensive, you know, when you see them in store and that, because knowing that this is how much work it would take for me to do it myself, I don't really want to do that. So someday I want to get a good sewing machine that can do leather, and at that point then I might do a little bit more leather working. But yeah, for now this is probably going to be the last project for a while, because this is a lot of work. I thought woodworking was a lot of work, but leatherworking for such a small thing, this is a lot of work. Anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in any more of the leatherworking stuff that I've done, there will be a playlist linked at the end of the video, so you can go check that out. There's not a whole lot of the cool stuff. Again, I only kind of dabble with leatherworking, don't do a ton of it. But anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.